Hey folks, Vince the Evil DM. Gonna do a little bit of a discovery, pickup, mail call. I don't know what you want to call it. Things I discovered at local bookstores that are do with gaming. So I wanted to just talk about those things. Also, I wanted to do a video to talk a little bit about Unscripted Evil, which is happening this Friday on my channel at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a live with myself, DM Bloodworth, and Jeff. We will talk about various gaming topics, how to improve games, how to improve yourself as a DM, just advice from the for the community, and as well as maybe some controversial topics. We'll touch upon those and talk about why they are controversial. Also, watch the short videos here on my channel, the YouTube shorts. They're a minute or less. Sometimes I pose a question to the community in which they can talk about it with one another and give advice to one another. And we often will talk about that on the Unscripted Evil show. So I went to this past weekend Half Price Books, which is located here in Texas, North Texas. Actually, it's all over Texas, and I think it's all over some of the southern states, Oklahoma, maybe Alabama. I know there is some up towards Chicago area, Illinois, around there. I know Indiana, places like that, I believe. It's in various locations in the United States. It's kind of like Books A Million, or just think of a local bookstore that will buy stuff from a person and then try to resell it out for a different price. Now, Half Price Books has declined over the years in how they handle things, which I found out this weekend. They judge everything based off of Amazon pricing. So if you go into their store and see a book that you like and see it in the case, it's marked up way too high, it's probably because someone on Amazon listed the book as that, and they're like, now we can do the same. But there is always a chance that you can get a better deal on any of the books at the store by asking them to reprice it. They will take the book, look it up, and give you another price based on what they find on Amazon. So it's kind of a crapshoot. It could be good for your favor, it might be bad, but generally they'll tell you. Like when I went to the store this weekend, there's a couple books there. I asked them about repricing, and they did look at a couple things and say they were double the price of what they listed, so either take it or leave it. I have seen other people say that they have gone and asked for repricing and get lower prices. I don't know. I have not seen those before. But anyway, I did go Half Price Books this weekend, and I did pick up Palladium's Exotic Weapons, one of the original books for Palladium that came out in 83. I'm sorry, 84. Or maybe it's 83. It is actually signed by the author from the Palladium open house in 2015. Whomever this did decided to just drop it. This is one of the first things that Palladium had put out when they got into more fantasy stuff. They wanted to put out books with various weapons. Just give you a little bit more description. It's probably a little bit outdated now, but it's more of a collector's thing, and I like collecting books. I like having books in my hand. It just gives you more of a visual reference of all different weapons, just so you could see what it looks like in your game. And I thought it's a great idea. Some of them are really weird looking. Some of them are not. Like some of these clubs. But they had a great idea, and I know a couple companies have done this. The TSR did a couple things like this, I believe, in some Dragon magazines. They may have done a book like this. I'm pretty sure they did. I don't know. I wasn't really interested in collecting them, but these I thought were interesting, and I wanted to collect them. There's a couple other books that they did I want to grab as well, but that's just one of them. I also had picked up a Call of Cthulhu. You might not be able to see that because it's green, but yeah, because of the green screen. There it is. Off the Reflection. Call of Cthulhu 5.6 edition. This is from the 2001 20th anniversary edition of the book. It has all red writing in there with a little red, what do you call that, bookmark. They only made about, I think it was 500 of these. Sandy Peterson. They only made about 500 of these books. The one that I was looking for when I was trying to get these books was the special edition one, which actually gave you one of the Cthulhu uh, namesakes on there, and it was signed. But you know what? This is good enough for me, and it's a very solid book. Call of Cthulhu is a great game. I have played 3rd edition and a little bit of 5th. I do have a regular 5th edition book, but not 5.6. Now, I know 7th edition or 6th edition is the current one. And there's supposed to be an anniversary box set coming out again real soon, which I may pick up. I don't know. But anyway, this was one of the special editions. I know it's so hard to see. I'm sorry, folks. It's because of the green screen behind me. But yeah, I grabbed that as well. Another thing I picked up because I did like this in the past, and they were actually very, very cheap, was Modern 20. Can you see that? Modern 20. It was a lot like D&D, sorry, not D&D, D20 Modern when it came out in the early 2000s. It was a revamp of D20 Modern by RPG Objects. They tried to take the system after Wizards of the Coast kind of abandoned it and tried to make it into their own. And it made it a little bit more fluid, and it's books that I've always wanted to get a hold of but not been able to find because they didn't really print up too many of them. Sure, you could have had them printed probably through drive-through, but I don't know. I never really trusted some of the prints from drive-through. In fact, the person has their little Amazon thing back here, which I'm not going to show, but I did pick up those as well. There was a Supers one they made for just a Supers campaign. I really should not green screen. These are greenish colored books, but I didn't realize it would do that. They had a post-apocalypse, which matches their apocalyptic game. They had a martial arts one, which did not happen in D20 Modern at all, which is really good. And they had the soldiers and spellfighters, which is basically just give you a little like D20 weirdness going on for campaigns. One of the books that I really did like a lot was the I'm laughing because the person who sold these the half price books left their statement in here with their address, which is, we shouldn't have done that. But anyway, it was the Urban Arcana book, I believe it was Urban Encounter, whatever. It was it basically took D20 Modern and gave you that Shadowrun vibe to it with the D20 rules, which was kind of cool. You can even do a D&D thing with it, but why? Because they had D&D 3.0 and 3.5 at that point. But it gave you a good game system to play, and it gave you a lot of adventures in there. I think I have the book, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, and I do apologize. So it is Urban Arcana. I was just thinking about it. I had to pause the video for a minute to look because it was driving me up the wall. But Urban Arcana, a campaign setting, it was basically you could take and add all these different races and made it a little sci-fi-ish, and it gave you that whole Shadowrun, maybe Cyberpunk. No, Cyberpunk doesn't have anything but humans, but gave you that Shadowrun vibe to it. Again, it was something that was abandoned by Wizards of the Coast, fell under the open D20 open license, and you got all these books. And I basically got all these books for about $3 a piece, so I didn't spend a lot on them, and they're good quality, and it may be something to look at because D20 Modern always did give me a little bit of a headache when I ran those games because, I don't know, 3.5 rules always gave me a headache because there's so many little things to keep track of and little synergy things. I wasn't a big fan of it. And there's also the classes were just so bland that you had to revamp them and call them something else. That's why I never really got into D20 itself that much. I played in a bunch of campaigns when I lived in Pennsylvania. There's one guy loved D20 Modern. That was his go-to game all the time. So we would play D20 Modern. I had no problem with it as long as I was playing in a game with my buddies. That's all I really cared about, just sitting around the table playing a game. So those are the things I picked up this weekend at Half Price Books. There is another bookstore in town that I did grab some things for, but I'll save that for another video. I want to spread these out and not make them too long. Just talk a little bit about the books and what I picked up and what you could see in the future. You know, maybe I'll do some videos on certain things because I think Modern 20 is something to talk about that a lot of people forget about. I know there is an actual play podcast out there that still does D20 Modern as their actual base, and I think it's called the D20 Future Show, and they use D20 Future as one of the supplements for D20 Modern, which is pretty badass itself, making it a sci-fi campaign. So I'm not sure if they're still active or not at all, but they were I can actually look, D20 Future Show. Yeah, they're still active as of this date. So yeah, they're a good show. You can listen to them. Get on August 13th. That was the last episode. So they're very current. They're due twice a month. And if you really want to get into D20 Modern, you can look at their show or listen to their show. The people are a really cool bunch of people. So DM Richard is the host of that show. Go ahead and check that out. Just find it on your podcast app. Just put in D20 Future Show. They go through all the D20 stuff going on. So, and they do have some interviews and stuff. They're a pretty good show. Well, I'm going to head out. With that said, just don't forget to, actually, before I step out, Unscripted Evil this Friday. Don't forget you can email me at askthedm@theevildm.com. Head over to my website, The Evil DM. You can also click contact there as well, or you can hit me up on Twitter at The Evil DM. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit like for the videos. Comment below. Tell me what you think of these books. Do you have them? Have you played in some of these games, or maybe Modern 20 or Call of Cthulhu? Just tell me what you're saying, what you think about these things. And yeah, you can also support this channel by clicking on the links, various links below. Even if you don't buy anything on those links, just clicking on the links does support this channel. So I'm going to head out. Hope you enjoy your rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.